Ooh, it's just about that time of year. Lawn renovation, fall overseeding. Should I start thinking about doing mine? That's what we're going to talk about today, so stick around. Thanks for coming back, everybody, to another edition of Budget Lawns. Thank you if you are subscribed already. If you're not, please consider doing so. Hit the notification bell, thumbs up, leave me a comment. All that stuff goes a very, very long way, and we've got some exciting things about to happen here on the channel, so you definitely want to make sure you're a part of it. But today we are talking about, and I can't believe we're talking about this today because it's heat index is around 100 today. It's hot. Yes, fall is close, but it does not feel like it. We have a lot of hot weather ahead of us, but you're already starting to see the chirping about fall prep. Now, we're not talking about fall prep today. We're going to get into that a little bit closer to the time, but you're starting to see a lot of folks talking about lawn renovation for the fall and overseeding. So does that mean it's something that I need to do? Not for Bermudagrass, not for warm season grasses. It's not something that you have to do or should do. It's something you can do, and that's what we're really going to talk about. So don't be confused if you're new to this, that just because you see everybody talking about dethatching, aerate, and overseeding, lawn renovation in the fall and all that, that's something you have to do too if you're a warm season southern lawn. That is a cool season thing. These grasses aren't created equal as far as cool and warm season grasses. Different rule book to play by, but that does not mean that you cannot overseed a Bermuda lawn. Now, we did a video about this earlier in the season about overseeding Bermuda with Bermuda. Now, that is not something you really have to do. If you want to see the details on that, I'll leave a link for that down in the description below. But what I'm talking about is overseeding a Bermuda lawn in the fall with a cool season grass. So why would you even do that in the first place? Well, warm season grasses go dormant during the winter time, so you're left with this brown, what some people would say ugly looking lawn throughout the entire off season. So first and foremost, people like to overseed their Bermuda in the fall with, say, a perennial ryegrass or ryegrass so they can have year-round green. Maybe you just love to mow a whole lot too, and the thought of not having the opportunity to mow through the late fall and winter just terrifies you, so you want to mow all year. So those kind of are the two main reasons why people will overseed their warm season lawn. For me, I don't care about year-round green, and I like the break from mowing, so I don't do it. I think that my Christmas lights would just look off, strange, if I didn't have a dormant Bermuda lawn to go along with them. We're going to talk a lot about my Christmas light display coming up, of course, as Christmas gets closer, so you don't want to miss that. Back to overseeding. So yeah, if you want year-round green, you want to mow, that's why you would overseed your Bermuda lawn with ryegrass sometime in the fall. But still, that's not the same as a cool season person overseeding or renovating theirs in the fall time. That is more of a standard practice for them. So if you're trying to decide if you want to overseed your Bermuda lawn or warm season lawn in general, zoysia, maybe centipede or St. Augustine, then those are kind of things you got to consider. Do you want to mow through the off season? I don't want to. I enjoy it. I think the time off makes the heart grow fonder for the spring to come back around the next year. And do you just want that year-round green in the lawn? If you answer yes to those two questions, you need to start thinking about your prep to get ready to overseed here coming up pretty soon. So what does that entail to overseed the Bermuda? This can go really well or it can go really poorly for you if you don't do it just right. I've seen it done both ways. I've seen very successful overseeds and looked great all winter long, and then nice transition back into Bermuda for the spring and summer, and you couldn't even tell that really they switched grasses. I mean, I knew they did because I know a little bit about it, but if you don't do this right, you can really cause yourself a lot more headaches than enjoyment, really. Now, let's be clear here. I've never done this before. Doesn't mean I don't feel like I can't talk about it, because I've done my research to say, is this something I want to do? I've gone through the same thought process that maybe you're going through. Is this something I want to do? How would I do it? Is this something I should just steer clear of? And for now, I'm steering clear of it. But what I mean by this could go really poorly if you don't do it the right way. One, if you do decide you're going to do it, the process really isn't all that difficult. You just got to make sure you follow some simple steps. The first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to scalp the Bermuda down really, really low. That way you can get the best seed to soil contact as possible. Along with that, you want to make sure you don't even think about putting down any pre-emergent until the new seed, the new ryegrass, is fully established. So that means you won't be able to put it down as early as you would ideally want to. You'll have to wait a little bit to do it, to try and prevent some of that poana and some of those other winter weeds. And another good reason, or reason why some people will overseed, is to help choke out any winter weeds that may come in. But you want to scalp it down, avoid any pre-emergent, and make sure you go proper rates on your seed. I've seen folks that didn't go quite heavy enough, and you've got a real blotchy lawn with green ryegrass popping up through the dormant Bermuda, and it just doesn't look good. But if you do go heavy and you do it right, it can really look nice. It really can. And being a southern warm season turf guy, you get to take advantage of those cool aspects of a cool season lawn throughout the winter. Namely, everybody loves the stripes in the cool season lawn. Now that's a whole nother debate, whether or not you like the stripes or you don't. We'll talk about that in another video. But it can look really, really good. So with that, we're talking about some of the advantages and disadvantages, and making sure you don't make mistakes. Just going through the process again: scalp it, avoid pre-emergent, and make sure you put down plenty of seed. You don't want it to look blotchy and raggedy. You want it to look nice and flush and green, just like your Bermuda has all season long through the spring and summer. That way you just kind of seamlessly transition into the ryegrass for the off season, which is really not an off season because you're taking care of your lawn all winter long. But here's where it can really get kind of tricky if you don't know what you're doing or you don't do it right. As you're coming into the early part of the spring, this is when you really got to start thinking about that transition from the ryegrass to the Bermuda. And if you don't do this process just right, then you're left struggling all summer long without a nice lawn. And I've seen it happen several times. You want to make sure that you kill off that ryegrass early enough in the summer, or in the spring, early spring, that you start killing it off, scalping your Bermuda back down just as you normally would for a spring scalp, to open up that soil to the sunlight, the air, and the nutrients, to get that Bermuda to come back as soon as possible. If you leave the ryegrass there too long, it's going to make it difficult for that Bermuda to come up, and you're going to have a poor, rough looking lawn most of the season long. And you'll be fighting till the latter part of the summer to get your Bermuda to come back, and then before you know it, it will be time to overseed again. So, long story short on this, it's something you could be really happy you did, or really disappointed that you made the decision to do so. So tell me your experience down in the comments below. Have you overseeded with rye? How did it go? What are some tips, some tricks, some things you did right, some things you did wrong? So other folks trying to make the decision on whether or not it's something they want to do on their warm season lawn this fall can be better informed to decide whether or not they want to. But as far as overseeding warm season lawn with rye goes, that's pretty much the long story short. For me right now, as I mentioned, I'm steering clear of it, because I think if I had a lawn to take care of all year long, I might get in even more trouble with the wife. And I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. Happy wife, happy life. All right, that's it for today, folks. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.